I'm going to talk to you about the power of using the telephone. The telephone can make you or break you. Let the telephone become your friend. So I'm going to talk to you about 3 types of calls. There's what we call cold calls. That's calls that you're going to call people that you don't know. 2 is warm calls. People that you may have met, you know a little bit, you're not friends with. That's what we call a warm call. Now I'm going to talk to you about your hot calls. Them are your close friends, your relatives, people you work with that you know very well. So them are the 3 types of calls. I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to share with you how simple this is. The first call I'm going to do is how to make a cold call. Somebody you don't know. You may have met them. And this is, just going to give you some ideas of what to say. Always put it in your personality and that. So this is just some examples. And here's what I found out. Never make less than 5 to 6 phone calls. Why? Still to this day, after almost 3 decades of making calls, if I just go to make 1 or 2 calls, my tongue just like blue, blue, blue. I can't get it out. It always takes a few calls for me to get in the groove. So I challenge you and encourage you. Don't sit down to make a call or 2. Sit down to make 5 or 10. And let me tell you what I call 5 or 10 calls. That's not dialing 5 or 10 numbers. It's literally reaching 5 or 10 people. That's how you judge a call. Not how many calls you make, but how many people you talk to. I'm going to give you some examples. The first one is a cold call. Hey Jim, Frank. Yeah, I know you don't know me. I met you at the gas station yesterday. The reason why I'm calling, Jim, I'm putting some things together with some very successful people in the area, and you really struck me sharp and ambitious. Hey Jim, I can't promise you anything. What I'd like to do is this, Jim. I'd like to send you a couple of videos over. You watch them. They're going to be about 10 minutes long altogether. I want you to watch them. It's going to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. And when I call you back, you'll have an idea. Hey Jim, I'll call you in about 30 minutes. That's one example. Here's another example. Hey Bob, Frank. Yeah, I met you in the pro shop yesterday. Hey Bob, the reason why I'm calling, putting some things together. Looks like I found a way to have some fun and make some money and help some people. You really struck me as a people person. Would any of them 3 areas interest you, Bob? Great. Bob, what I'd like to do is this. I'd like to send you a couple of videos. They're about 10 minutes to watch. I can't promise you anything. Watch these videos. When I call you back, you'll know why and what I'm talking to you about. I'll call you in 45 minutes. Here's another one I may do. Hey Jim, Frank. Hey, I met you a couple weeks ago. I was at the Pizza Hut. We talked there, we were checking out together and stuff. Hey, how's your wife and kids? Great. Hey, listen, Jim, the reason why I'm calling is this. I'm expanding. I'm looking for some very sharp and ambitious people, and you come across that way to me. Is that true? Great. Hey, listen, what I like to do is this. I can't promise you anything, but I'd like to share a couple of videos with you, maybe 10 minutes long or so. Watch them. You know what? They're going to pique your interest. When I call you back, you're going to know what we're talking about. I'll call you in 45 minutes. If you notice, there's a couple of things that I said in each of them calls. One is, I can't promise you anything. When you use that, what it's doing is this. It's taking it away from them. Where you're not overhyping, you're not overselling. You're letting them know, I have something, but I can't promise you nothing. Remember, I would always add that in there. Why? It's what people, it just lets them drop their guard and it lets them feel more comfortable. The next is warm calls. Here's a couple examples. Hey Jim, Frank. Hey man, how's everything going? Hey, how's the golf game? You're doing my game. I don't get to play anymore, but you know what? I'm with my kids a lot and they're playing good. My one son just went to college. Great. Hey Jim, the reason why I'm calling is this. Man, it looks like I found a gold mine. I can't promise you anything, Jim, but I know this. You've always been ambitious. Hey, what I'd like to do is this. If you're open, I'd like to send you a couple of videos, about 10 minutes long. Watch them. I'll call you back. If something's there, great. If not, it's not a big deal. Hey, watch them. I'll call you in 30 minutes. Hey, Rich, Frank. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, hey, you met me at the golf course a couple of weeks ago. We bump into each other periodically at the golf course. Oh, yeah. Great. Hey, Rich, the reason why I'm calling is this. I'm working with some very successful people in the area. I can't promise you anything. We're putting some things together. It looks like it could absolutely be huge. Hey, are you open? If you're open, Rich, I can't promise you anything. What I'd like to do is this. I'd like to send you a few videos, watch them. If they pique your interest, you know what we'll do? When I call you, we'll set up a time to get together for 15, 20 minutes over coffee. Hey, Rich, I'm gonna send them to you. I'll call you in 45 minutes. Thanks. Give you an idea of how to call somebody maybe I went to school with, but I haven't seen them in years, or somebody I knew from years ago and haven't talked. Bobby, Frank, how's it going? Bobby, the reason why I'm calling, yeah, I know we haven't talked in years and I apologize, you know, life's just been busy. But Bobby, the reason why I'm calling is this. I have found something big. I know you've always been a big thinker. I remember back in school when we used to talk about all this crazy stuff. Listen, I've hooked up with some very successful businessmen, Bobby. Looks like we found a gold mine. Bobby, I can't promise you anything, but are you still ambitious? Are you still always open, always looking for the right deal? Great. Like I said, Bobby, I can't promise you nothing. I'm going to send you some videos about 10 minutes long. Watch them, Bobby. If it piques your interest when I call you back, we'll set up a time to get together. I'll go through the details. I'll call you in 45 minutes, Bobby. On the warm calls, if you notice, one of the things I did was I brung up a conversation that we may have had. I brung their family into it, their wife and kids, because when I met them, we talked about that. So I always bring it back to a point of reference. And I always bring back where I met them at. So it sharks, yeah, that's where I met. I remember that, yeah. And what's amazing is this, it's amazing when you can remember a little bit about somebody that you met and you bring that back. Hey, how's your kids? How's your wife? And all, when you bring that back, you know what? Here's what it lets them know. Man, that guy's different, or that gal's different. She remembered something. She remembered my family. She remembered my spouse, my kids. That's a powerful thing. So when you meet people, always remember, take some notes mentally or even write something down. So when you call them back, you got something in reference to it. Now I'm going to share with you how to call people that you hang out with all the time, your good friends, people you go to church with, you work with, you know, your kids are at football games together, people that you sort of run with. I'm going to share with you how simple it is to call them. Hey, Jimmy, Frank. Yeah, how's it going? Hey, yeah, I've just been busy at work. Hey, Jimmy, the reason why I'm calling, I'll get right to the point. Listen, it looks like I found an opportunity. It's just mind-boggling. A couple of very successful business people I'm working with, put some details together. Looks like we're going to have a chance to make a fortune and help some people. I can't promise you anything, Jimmy. What I'd like to do is this. I'd like to send you these couple of videos, 10 minutes long. I want you to watch them, Jimmy. Why? I want you to give me your input. I want you to tell me what you think. Okay, Jimmy, I'm going to send them to you. Watch them. And what I'll do is this. I'll call you in about 30, 45 minutes. All right, Jimmy, thanks. Bye. Hey, Jimmy, Frank, how's it going? I haven't seen you at the golf course the last 2 or 3 weeks. What? You're working all the time? What are you working for? You big old beetle bug. Come on. Your wife's got you doing it. What for? Oh, to make money? Oh, you want to buy a boat for next summer? Oh, great. Listen, hey, boats are great. You know, we have a place on the Swanee River. I forgot I've had you down there several times. Hey, listen, Jimmy, the reason why I'm calling is this. Man, I've got my hands on something I believe is going to be the biggest thing I've ever done in my life. And, you know, we've been a part of some pretty substantial things. Jimmy, I can't promise you nothing. I want to send you a couple of videos. Jimmy, I want you to watch them with intent. Why? I want to get your best advice. I want you to tell me what you get out of it. I'm really looking forward to your input, Jimmy. I can't promise you. I'm going to send them to you about 10 minutes on. Watch them. When I call you back, Jimmy, I want the best you got, okay? Thank you, Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy. Hey, listen. Man, that was a great barbecue yesterday, man. Man, we had fun. The kids had fun. Man, I appreciate you putting it on, inviting us over there. Hey, Jimmy, the reason why I'm calling now is, you know what, it slipped my mind yesterday, and I do apologize. But the reason why I'm calling is I'm putting some things together. Some very successful friends of mine are putting some things together. It looks like we found a home run. Hey, Jimmy, I really, you know, I've always respected your opinions and stuff. What I'd like to do, Jimmy, and I know you've always been open. What I'd like to do is this. I'd like to send you a couple of videos, Jimmy. And what I'd like to do is this. I want you to go through them, watch them. It's 10 minutes long. Watch them. I'm going to call you in about 30, 45 minutes. I want to get your input from them, Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, it's going to be big. I'll call you in 45 minutes. Here's another way of setting up a meeting. Hey, Bob, Frank. Man, I enjoyed the barbecue yesterday. Man, it was great. Hey, Bob, listen. Hey, what are you doing tomorrow around lunchtime? What time's lunch for you, Bob? 11:45? Hey, let's meet at the Starbucks. 15, 20 minutes time. Bob, I'd like to share some information. I'd like to get some input from you. You know, I've always respected you. You've been very successful. I'd like you to take a look at something and give me some input from it. Hey, let's go. I'll meet you at Starbucks 11:45. The reason why I'd like to sit down to people, I'd like to see people eye to eye. Why? I can read people, I can see their reactions. And not only that is this, I'm about exposing the opportunity and exposing the products face to face, because here's what I know: when you get with people face to face, things happen. And I'm about moving my business down the path towards success. And the only way to do that is exposures with people. Here's another one. This is setting up a meeting with somebody I may have just met. Hey Jim, Frank. Hey, yeah, we met yesterday at the gas station. Hey, what are you doing tomorrow for lunch? Or what are you doing right after work? Let's get a cup of coffee. Man, you struck me very sharp the other day. What I like to do is this: I like to sit down, I like to share an opportunity with you. I can't promise you anything though, but I like to share it with you, get some input from you. Hey, let's meet for a cup of coffee. I'll meet you at Panera Bread 5 o'clock. I always want to sit down with the person face to face if I get that opportunity. So I'm gonna go there first, you know, especially if it's somebody locally, or if it's good. Let's say I'm going to be in Jacksonville today and I can see somebody in Jacksonville face to face, I'm going to do it. Or if I'm going to be in Lakeland, if I can see somebody face to face, I'm going to do it. My first opportunity is if I can see them face to face, I'll do that. Another way that I like to make calls is this: I like to sit down, and once I help enroll somebody and I help them develop their list, what I'd like to do is this: I like to share with them how simple it is to get started. So what I will do a lot of times, I will make the initial calls for them to help set their appointments up. And the reason why I do that is this: I can handle whatever that person says on the telephone. I'm not for sure if the new person I just enrolled can, because in their mind they may have one or two people. I know they're going to get in. I know they're going to get in. And if they call them and then people are, what have you done? I can't believe you've done it. No, I'm not interested. They're going to be down in the dumps. So and also I'll let you know, it's also the easiest way to make calls. Why? You're actually calling somebody that you've never seen before. You don't even know who they are. So guess what? You could pass them tomorrow in the Winn-Dixie or the Publix or the Kroger's or wherever you are, the Dick's Sporting Goods, and you won't even know it's them, and they won't even know it's you. I'll give you some examples. Hey Tony, Frank. Hey Tony, I know you don't know me, but I'm sitting here with Dean. The reason why I'm calling Tony, me and Dean got talking, man. Looks like we have found a way to make some serious money and help some people. And I said, Dean, who's the most sharpest person you know? And he said you, Tony. So that's the reason why I'm calling. Tony, we can't promise you anything, but I know this. If you're the type of guy that Dean says you are, as highly spoke about you, hey, what I'd like to do, Tony, is this. I'd like to send you a couple of videos about 10 minutes long. You watch them. And you know what? I'm going to call you back in 30, 45 minutes. No, you know what? Watch this. It's 10 minutes long, Tony. It ain't going to take a lot of time. Watch them. Because you know what? It's probably going to do for you what it did for Dean and myself. It's going to answer a lot of questions. You watch it, so when I call you back, you know what we're talking about. Talk to you in 35 minutes. Bye. Here's another one. Cindy, Frank. Yeah, you don't know me, but you know Sheila. I'm sitting here talking to Sheila, and me and Sheila start talking about a couple deals, and it looks like we found a gold mine. And I said, Sheila, who's the most successful person you know? It's always got it going on. And she paid you the highest compliment, Cindy. She said that you're the most successful real estate person she knows. You're moving and shaking 24/7, 365. She says you're the top producer in our town. Cindy, I can't promise you anything. But if you're anything like Sheila says you are, you're going to get excited about what we found. Hey, can you have a cup of coffee with us tomorrow? For 15, 20 minutes, let us bounce a couple of things off of you. If you see how it can benefit you, great. If not, it's not a big deal. All right, let's meet at Starbucks. What, 9:30, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning? Okay, see you then. Another third-party phone call. Hey, Jimmy, Frank. Yeah, no, I don't know you, Jimmy, but I'm sitting here with Pete. Yeah, you remember Pete? Yeah, he supplies dirt. He's in the fill dirt business and land clearing business. He supplies all that stuff. Oh, I know that crazy. That Pete is as crazy as a cotton picking June bug. That's the Pete. Hey, listen, I'm in the plumbing business. I know you're in the building business. Pete's in the construction business. So obviously there's something here. When I was talking to him, he said, listen, you got to call this guy. He's the most successful contractor. Always has it going on. Listen, I know you're used to risk and rewards. You know, you build spec houses, he told me, and all that. You know, you lay all that money out, you build it, you get done, hopefully you can sell it and make a profit. Let me tell you what we found. We found an absolutely incredible gold mine. Cannot promise you anything, and we're only looking for people that's serious about digging. Are you serious about digging? I know you are, because you wouldn't be risking all that money building spec houses, buying real estate, doing a stuff yard, because that's a big risk. You know, you got personal guarantees, credit lines and all that. I understand all that stuff. I can't promise you anything, but listen, we have found a gold mine. Hey, let's have a cup of coffee. We'll share with you a couple ideas. If you see how they can benefit you and your family, great. If not, we just had a great 15 minutes cup of coffee. Hey, let's get together tomorrow for lunch. Oh, you're busy at lunch? Well, then I can't. How about after 5 o'clock? 6:30? Hey, I'll see you. You want to go to the Denny's? Meet you at Denny's, 6:30. I'm going to talk to you about third-party credibility. It's amazing how when you understand the power of this and you use it and take advantage of it, what will change? It literally will change the dynamics, because third-party credibility is so important. Why? It takes the pressure off of you. It takes all the pressure off you, and you're always pointing to somebody else. And I'll give you an example of this. So when I'm on a phone with a new contact, or when I'm on the phone with somebody, or if I'm sitting with that individual, they could be at my house, we could be having a cup of coffee. I always want to attach myself to somebody more successful to me. Why? It takes the pressure off of me. And so I'll say, hey, Dean, listen, I'm going to go ahead and call a fella that's helping me. He's been very, very successful. He's very, very successful. He's made millions and millions of dollars. Great family, great man. And you know what? He's also great friends with the founder and owner of the company. So I call him and get him on the phone. Hey, Corbin, this is Frank. Hey, I'm sitting here with Dean. Now, here's what's amazing that happens when you do this. I've already put an emphasis on Corbin's credibility. And what that does, it takes off of me. So now Dean's going to listen to Corbin, because I've already built Corbin up. I've already edified him, and I've let him know how successful he is. So now, when I put Dean on the phone with Corbin, Dean's going to be all ears. And what will end up happening is this. Corbin will point back to me and say, hey, listen, you're going to want to listen to Frank. You're going to want to get involved with him. He knows what he's doing, and we're working together. That's the power of using and taking advantage of the system of your upline. Another purpose and another reason is this. People always want to know, who are you connected to? Because people know this, who you're connected to determines where you go and who you become in life. So I always talk about the person who enrolled me, and I always talk about Dallin and Daniel, the founders of the company. I always talk about them. So what? It gives me credibility when I talk about them and what they've done. And so what happens is this. So now I'm on the phone with Jimmy, and I say, Jimmy, let me put you through to the fella that's helping me, been very successful. Immediately it connects them with somebody else more than me. So now they see the picture. It's not just me trying to help them. I'm already putting them in contact with somebody else. And so they know it's just not me and them, it's us together. You always want to build a picture of the team. You always want to build a picture of who is working together. Always build that with your individuals. Never make it about just you alone. Why? Nobody wants to be on an island by themselves. You want to hook them to the real deal. One of the most powerful things is let people know that you're hooked up with somebody that's successful. Somebody that's already done it. Why? Because it's been done once, it can be done again. And success does breed success. So always point to whoever it is in your line of sponsorship, your upline, it has been successful. I use things like, hey, you know, the fellow that's helping me been very, very, very successful. He owns multiple companies. Been married 30 years, so it shows stability. He's created several multi-million-dollar companies. He's the fella, it's actually helping me. And then I'll always point to the company, to Dallin and Daniel. Why? That's the key. Use this, implement this, and you'll see a difference in the outcome. Third-party credibility is incredible. Why? It brings more influence and more success. Because if all you do is have people looking at you and your success, you're limited. Because remember, a lot of the people that you're talking to know you.